Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Aston Edmonds with Health and Wellness, and we have a short video for you today on our leg training. Me and my buddy Dylan filmed about a week ago, and normally we start off with just 3 sets of 5 on regular deadlifts, but the previous night we had filmed a tutorial on how to set up banded deadlifts, so we thought we'd go ahead and give that a try, see what we thought. Real quickly, some of the benefits of a banded deadlift are it teaches you to really move fast throughout the lift. You really have to constantly accelerate. Where a normal deadlift, once you break it off the floor or get past your sticking point, you can kind of almost coast on the momentum that you already have. But when weight is being constantly added to the bar every inch you go up, you really have to accelerate throughout the entire movement. So it really teaches speed and also helps develop lockout strength. After we finished about one working set each on the banded deadlifts, we decided it wasn't really for us, or at least not at this time, and we'd just go ahead and go back to our normal program. Although I actually did decide to try out sumo deadlifts. So instead of doing 3 sets of 5, I actually did sets of like 8 to 10. That way I could kind of focus more on my technique since I am new to it. Actually, about a year ago, I injured myself sumo deadlifting because, it requires a very wide stance. And if you notice, the people that are, world champions at it, they have a super wide stance and extremely externally rotated legs. So I decided to emulate that. But what I did not know is you kind of need to start off with a narrower sumo stance and work your way out as you develop the strength in your inner thighs and the flexibility of your groin and hips. And so I went super wide and did a whole lot of sets and kind of really pushed myself, which was not a smart idea. Whenever you're starting a new exercise, you should use lightweight, master the form, and work your way up slowly. But I ended up pulling my adductor, more specifically my gracilis, and so it took me quite a long time to recover, probably about 5 months. So that's kind of why my deadlifts and just overall lower body lifts are fairly weak at this point compared to what they were. There was a point where I was squatting 315 for 20 reps, and last week I got it for 5. So it's pretty frustrating to say the least, but we kind of live and learn. I actually don't think I'm going to be adding sumos in because after this session, my adductor was feeling a little funny. It wasn't to the point where it was feeling injured. It was just kind of a little tingling pain. And so I really do not want to risk re-injuring myself. So I'm just going to go back to regular. Even though I feel like my build is more suited for sumo, the injury just isn't worth it to me. So I ended up hitting 305 for 8 reps. In the set that I actually didn't show, I hit 295 for 10, which is definitely far off from where I was. I was at an estimated 500 pound pull about a year ago before I injured myself, so I'm kind of still working my way back up quite a bit. I also was a lot heavier. I was 200 pounds, where right now I'm weighing in at like 168. So of course that made a big difference as well. Next we moved on to front squats, and rewatching this footage, I'm actually not happy with my form. It's looking a little bit rough, although we did 3 sets of 3, and next week we're going to try to do the same weight for 3 sets of 5. Hopefully I can clean up my form a little bit next time. A lot of people use front squats to build up their quads, but in my opinion, it's not the greatest quad builder because the limiting factor isn't your quads. It's going to be, for most people, their core strength, the ability for them to maintain that front rack position and keep an upright torso. And so really we use it as a deadlift assistance to teach us to remain upright and keep our core, as tight as possible. Alright, after that we moved on to 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps on leg press. And doing high reps on legs is absolutely killer. If you guys haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it. I mean, it'll leave you sore than almost anything else. As you can see, some people might question our depth on the leg press, but really, for me personally, if I went any lower, it would actually cause lumbar flexion, putting a lot of negative tension on my low back, and we just do not want that. We don't want to get injured on anything, but much less, doing leg press. So what I actually recommend when setting up for leg press is to, sit down on the leg press, put your feet about where you would do the lift, and then just bring them towards your chest as far as you naturally can. And that is going to be your depth for the leg press. But since our depth wasn't, too crazy, we actually made up for it by doing high reps. So the overall time under tension would be very similar to, say, somebody doing maybe 12 reps with an increased range of motion as to us doing 20 reps with a decreased range of motion. As you can see by my face, it is absolutely killer. We also are doing the very narrow stance, which does also limit the range of motion, because normally with a wider stance that actually gives you room for your knees to travel, and once your hips open up you can go lower without putting the negative tension. But we're actually about to run out of footage. After this, we did 6 sets of 8 to 12 on seated leg curls, 3 sets of 15 to 20 on leg extensions, some ab work, and then normally we do 10 sets of 10 on calves, although we were both feeling very tired after this. We had a late night of filming the previous night, so we decided we'll just hit them extra hard the next 2 times that we hit calves later on in the week. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this footage, please give it a thumbs up. If you liked it, that really helps me out. Also, let me know your opinion on some of this stuff in the comments section down below. And if you want to see more fitness related content, please go ahead and subscribe. You'll be notified when I upload future videos. In the meantime, thanks for watching.